Do people just not like each other anymore? Why is it that the narrative today is that men aren't shit and women are gold diggers? Hey you guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Olivia and I just like to talk about current affairs, issues affecting girls, and I also like to see people, especially girls, becoming the best version of themselves. So today I'm going to be talking about the drastic change in relationships in society today, and why they feel much more transactional than they used to, and why exactly this is happening. My editing style, my video style is, I just like talking about this stuff. I say as it comes, and I don't necessarily like using a script while doing this because I just like it to feel more authentic and natural. So recently, when you go through TikTok or just any social media handle for that matter, there's many narratives where women are complaining about how men are, how they're using them, saying how men are shit. They don't want to appear speak me's, they don't want to take care of the man, they don't want to do nothing for this man, but they want to get all the benefits from the man, while men are saying that women nowadays, there are no good women, all the good women are gone, women are just transactional, they don't want anything regarding love, and they're being too mean to them. And there's also this popular narrative where men, at least from what I've heard, they feel like they shouldn't be in a relationship for that matter if they don't have the money up. And I feel like it's an important thing to talk about because I personally, I am a staunch feminist, and I believe that you cannot complain about a system that you yourself created. And the rest of us, women whose the system was not created for them, like, we are barely trying to survive, and it's only been less than 50 years since we had started being included into the system. Less than 60, less than 70 years, around 50 to 70 years since we were included in the system. It's only recently women have gotten rights to vote, the right to own property, the right to an education, and even the right to hold political offices. And even when those said women hold political offices, people still say that they are DEI's hires. DEI hires. If you do not know what a DEI is, it's diversity, equality, and inclusion. And I'm not going to talk deep regarding that because if I just start talking about it, like, we won't finish this video, and I just don't want to get into that. But then I feel like you can't complain about a system that you created yourself, and I feel like the patriarchy, in my opinion, is upholding the standards of dating and relationships nowadays. Why do I think that? Because women are just adapting to what you guys are doing. So many times when you go through TikTok, when you see, like, when you're scrolling through stuff about relationships and everything, or just your normal FYP, your normal TikTok feed, there have been so many cases where women are saying and talking about how they ended up in relationships where they suffered. Essentially, they paid for everything, they took care of a whole grown man, they did everything for the man, all that stuff. And there have been multiple cases where this has been happening with women, and I feel like most of us are just trying to adapt to the current situation. That is why relationships feel transactional. But then the issue with that, why I come into this, why I feel like relationships have gotten transactional, is the fact that women nowadays, especially with the dating girls from the Wheels and Leaves to Shiri 7, while they might be good for like your mindset and everything, most women are taking it the wrong way, and they're seeing it as get your money up, get your bag up, use this man, drive them out, men ain't shit. And that is where we get the term men ain't shit. In other words, niggas ain't shit. And that is where the issue comes in, because most of the time broken people is what we have in the system. And as much as we do not want to come to terms with it, that is what we have into the system. Most of us are broken. You ended up in a situation where you gave your all, and then you noticed that giving your all to the wrong person did not work out well for you. So you went ahead with the mindset of, if I'm going to be giving my all and not getting anything in return for it, might as well just play into the situation and try to get my money up. And that is why relationships feel transactional nowadays. Women are going in with this mindset, saying, if that man doesn't have his money up, I want nothing to do with him. If he's not established, I want nothing to do with him. And most women nowadays have taken out the logics, not the logics, I'm sorry, but the emotions and feelings out of everything. And nowadays they're just holding up to the logic side of things. Most of the time they're acting more and more like men. I'm a personal victim of that. I do that. Most women nowadays are acting like men. Sorry to say, but then most women nowadays are acting like men. We're just reciprocating the energy that the men have given us, because naturally women are reciprocators. We do not initiate stuff. That is just human nature. We do not initiate stuff. Most of the times we are the one who reciprocate the energy that is handed out to us. And men nowadays saying that relationships feel transactional, I kind of get them to a sense, but then I feel like the issue with society today and the system created by the men. Now I'm going to be talking about like the younger men and what I've heard from them. Most of them say that they feel like they can't get into a stable relationship without having their money up or having their lives figured out. And that is a system that was created in the past, when women had no power, women had no rights, women were fully reliant on a man for everything, and the man was the sole and only provider of the family. And I feel like when men are brought up in such a society, it gets kind of difficult, because most of them only know how to prove their value through materialistic things. They take away the emotion out of everything. They take away the actually being a good and competent person, and they equate their value to how much money they can make, how much money they have, and such. And I feel like that is where the issue tends to come in, because when that happens and you enter into a relationship with a woman, as much as a woman might want to treat you as well as she would like to, treating you like a human being, showing you her love, showing you that she likes you and she respects you, the issue comes in when you aren't able to reciprocate that. And the only way that you're able to show her that you love her and you treat her nice and you like her and you actually hold her dear to her heart, to your heart, I'm sorry, is by giving her money and more money and more money and more money. And most women do not want that. I don't think anyone wants that. No one wants to replace natural human connection with materialistic stuff like money and trips and vacations to Dubai. Personally, I would like that. But the thing is, when you're using that as a substitute for actual human connection with like love and engagement and support and actually caring about your partner and everything, that is where the issue comes in, because it creates an imbalance. Because we have, on one hand, the woman is trying to love you, trying to take care of you, nurtures you, because women are nurturing by nature. They're taking care of you. You're placed in such a situation where the only way you're getting love is through materialistic things. Most women have seen it as a way to adapt and have said, okay, since I'm not going to be getting any love or like care from this man, why not just take the one with money? And I feel like this all roots down to current issues with like capitalism and everything, because truth be told, life is expensive nowadays. Even wanting to start a family nowadays is expensive. When you want to have kids, you have to plan your entire life around that kid because of the expenses that will come in. Statistically, it costs more than half of a whole year's salary to raise a kid in the first year of life. And them diapers are expensive. The food is expensive because, truth be told, kids are not eating the same things that you're eating. Kids need more attention. They need more specialized food. They need more specialized care. They start with childcare. And if you're not in a country that fully supports this, like the systems do not cater towards this, it gets a bit hard. And women nowadays are kind of looking into the fact that I might lose my job after this, because they start with maternity leave. And with maternity leave, most countries don't have a well-established system. And that's where the issue comes in. And women are like, okay, let me just get with a man who has his money up. And if he does have his money up, it gets a bit easier for me to take care of my kid without having to worry about the finances. Because I saw this girl yesterday on TikTok and I felt really bad for her. I literally felt really bad for her. Not in the sense that she's being treated terribly by her partner or anything. No. That was not the case. But then she was running a series where she was like, hey guys, day 52 of me trying to save 12,000 pounds so that I can have a baby. And I was like, what do you mean 12,000 pounds to have a baby? And I thought, okay, maybe it's stuff with like fertility issues. Maybe she's looking into IVF, maybe getting a surrogate. Okay, I know a surrogate is much more expensive than that, like almost 80,000 pounds when you're talking about the sterling pound currency, like 80,000, 85,000 euros, they're about. But then I went into the comments and I was expecting her to say, oh, it's because of IVF and my partner and I can't conceive naturally and everything. But then it was really sad what I saw. She mentioned that she's doing that because she's trying to save up so that during the first year of maternity, like she wants to get enough time to spend with her child during the developmental years, because there's a possibility that she might lose her job because of capitalism, and the system does not support that. And that was so sad to see, because in the past that was not the case. Like, you could literally be a mailman or have like an office job, like let's say as the courier, or like the person sorting the file cabinet and everything, and you could still afford to have 5 kids, a fully paid off house, a car, and even a whole ass farm with a mail job or a courier job. But then that is not the case nowadays, and it's so sad to see. It really is so sad to see. And yeah, it's, oh god, it's really disheartening to see, because that is not the case. And it's like I always say, every issue we have with society nowadays all comes down to capitalism, because women will treat relationships as transactional because men are treating them as transactional. Why are men treating them as transactional? Because they can't fully provide for themselves. And why is that? Because of capitalism. And capitalism makes it hard to have a pleasing relationship, a pleasing life, a less stressful life. Like, it makes life so much harder for people. And yeah, what do you guys think? Why are relationships this way? Why is it that relationships are transactional this way? Why is it that men are shit? What is up with that? Please do tell me in the comments, and I hope to see you guys next time.